This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. NAJ calls for greater commitment to training nurses. President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, Patsy Edwards Henry, has asserted that the government is not sufficiently committed to training nurses. Mrs. Edwards Henry's comments follow Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton's explanation that a shortage of qualified nurses is among issues that contributed to the death of newborns at Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Speaking with the news on Thursday, the NAJ president, who has been assigned to the Victoria Jubilee Hospital for more than 30 years, said that the systematic problem is an easy fix, but nothing is being done to address it.
We have training schools that are not open and cannot accept students because of infrastructure problems. Low-hanging fruits. The in-service education unit, which is right next door to the Nurses Association at 3 Trevanian Park Road, has been condemned for close to a year. And they are the ones who train neonatology nurses. And they haven't been able to take in students for training for the different post-basic courses because of a building which is condemned, on which I see no work doing. So they don't have anywhere to train. Since I have been there, we have introduced a gynecological ward, maternal fetal medicine. We've introduced specialist clinics. We've added operating theaters. And the same cadre of nurses that existed in 1976 is the same cadre of nurses which are expected to carry all these additional services. We did, and I must commend the government and the leadership at the time, we did manage to get 1,572 posts. However, those 1,572 posts were for persons who were already in the system, who were working, who needed to be promoted. So it still does not speak to an expansion of the cadre in relationship to the expansion of the services. Preliminary results show that the nurse-patient ratio in Jamaica is horrendous because at some places you have one, and not in the neonatal care unit, but you have one nurse with up to 30 patients. Do have a challenge with that. But there is always more. We have to think that there's continuing education in infection control.
Police probing 2 separate murders in St. James. A 42-year-old woman is among the latest victims of gun violence in St. James. About 9:20 p.m. Wednesday, residents of Beckerstead in Cambridge heard gunfire and called the police. The body of Latoya McNeil was found with multiple gunshot wounds. In a separate incident, the St. James police are questioning a suspect in connection with the fatal shooting of an 18-year-old boy on Wednesday night. Investigators say about 11:30 p.m., Nicardo Gray was at home at Conwell Court in Mount Salem with a group of friends when an explosion was heard. The teenager was later found dead with a bullet wound to the face. A 22-year-old man who was listed as a person of interest was later taken into custody for questioning. Morgan defends Juliet Holness over PNP unsafe living remark. Minister without a portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, has defended Juliet Holness over the comment made by the Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew, pointing to unsafe living situations of supporters of the opposition People's National Party. Holness declared that everywhere in my constituency that is unsafe to live, comrades live there. You hear what me say? Everywhere in my constituency that is not safe to live, comrades live there. Continuing, Holness, who is the wife of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, said, "Anywhere where river going to wash away, comrades live there. Anywhere that is a garbage dump, comrades live there, and is not Labour Party put them there." Holness, who made the comments while appearing as guest speaker at the ruling Jamaica Labour Party's Norfolk Divisional meeting at the Constant Spring Primary School in St. Andrew, has since come under heavy criticism over the comments. However, at the post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, Morgan argued that the point Holness had been trying to make was about the importance of good leadership, which he said is reflected in what he suggested was the JLP's better track record in housing development compared to the PNP. Glitch in ministry's payroll system delays teachers' pay. A glitch in the Ministry of Education and Youth's payment system caused by human error led to teachers in Region 7 encompassing the parish of Clarendon not receiving their monthly salaries on the October 25 due date. The Jamaica Teachers Association, in a release on Thursday, said it was highly unacceptable that several categories of teachers had not yet received their monthly salaries more than 2 days after the payments were due. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Maureen Dwyer, told the news on Thursday that the ministry became aware of the error Thursday morning and immediately did checks and discovered that the payroll file was inadvertently uploaded under the wrong category. So payroll file was uploaded under the category fortnightly when it actually should have been uploaded under the monthly payment. We contacted the Accountant General's department and they said to us that we were not seeing the file where it ought to have been. They did their investigation and they located the file and it was routed properly to the monthly payment. So we were able to correct that by 10:30 this morning, and then the AGD was able to say to the Bank of Jamaica that the payments could be made, she explained. She said that the AGD, having requested that the BOJ expedite the payment process, confirmed that the payments would begin to be reflected in some accounts from before 8 p.m. on Thursday, and that all payments should be made by Friday afternoon. Teachers who are paid via National Commercial Bank would see their salary reflected first, and then for the others who get paid from their accounts at building societies and the credit unions, it would take a little longer time before it's going to be transferred from the bank, she said. The JTA had also said in its release that neither the association nor the board of management of any institution had received any communication from the ministry to inform of the delay. But Dwyer said she had since spoken to the union's general secretary as well as the president. I've had conversations with them and I have sent them the correspondence we got from the accountant general. We just wanted to make it very transparent so they understand what exactly took place, she said. Health Minister brushes off calls for his resignation. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has dismissed the calls for his resignation over the deaths of 12 newborns at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. People's National Party General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell on Thursday called for Dr. Tufton's resignation as well as a comprehensive probe into the deaths of 43% of the neonates in the nursery at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. The PNP General Secretary argued that ministers of previous administrations have lost their portfolios over neonatal deaths with far lower mortality rates. Speaking on Thursday with the news, Minister Tufton was asked whether he will resign from his portfolio given concerns about how he has handled the dead babies matter. But Dr. Tufton said Prime Minister Andrew Holness will have to make that call, adding that until he says, I will continue to give it my best shot.
That seems to be a constant question. I don't venture a view on these things. I get up every day and I give my service to country and to the ministry and the best that I can. It's not an easy job, and I work with a team that I think makes their best effort despite the limitations. Matters of serving in particular position, and in this case at the level of ministry, are those that are more concerned with the Prime Minister, and he will have to make that call. He carries the biggest burden as the chairman of the executive arm of government, and I serve at his pleasure. So until he says, I will continue to give it my best shot. I don't think the report spoke to shortage of supply. I think the report, this is the internal report now, spoke to the patient to medical staff ratio. We're now at 1 to 7, 1 to 8, in some cases 1 to 9. It exponentially increases the risk, and it is fundamental because many other steps that have to be taken around infection prevention and control, whether it is sanitizing areas, whether it is the cross-contamination prevention, because the movement of people, one nurse, several babies, heightens the risk. All of those things impact the risk profile, and that is a dilemma. It's a real crisis that we face.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.